They were knocking, knocking, knocking. I was like, "Who is that?" And I was able to see through the front window, and I seen Billy Nelson, and he was pointing at me. And I was like, "Yeah," I pointed at him. I was like, "This, you guys are the reason why I came." And then
This is Jonathan Agoff here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by the bounty Michael Hunter here over Zoom. Michael, you've been in sort of the headlines a lot recently, especially since Bakole's win. Everyone's talking to you about a potential rematch. But how's everything been going?
oh, good, good. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of calls. A lot of people have been hitting me up. I've been getting a couple of little followers. It's been good. It's been good. I actually, me and my team had talked about this a long time ago that I wasn't going to get a lot of credit until later on for the Bakole fight, until he beat a lot of people. People they didn't really know how good of a fighter he was, and they weren't going to find out at that point. So now it's starting to come up to the surface, and hopefully we'll close that back out.
So did you expect that, what we saw, in LA last week? Because you're going into the fight, a lot of people, in the UK knew about Bakole, but not a lot of Americans did. But obviously, you fought him. So did you expect that to happen?
Yeah, yeah, I was kind of on the London and the England side this time. A lot of the Brits knew about Bakole, and a lot of the Americans over here were, they didn't know him, and they didn't respect him. So a lot of the people were saying Anderson, and I was like, even a couple of my friends, I was telling them, everybody thought, oh, Anderson's gonna outbox him. I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. Once Anderson, I think it's really it all comes down to strategy. I think Anderson had the wrong game plan. He was thinking like a heavyweight, and I think that was what hurt him. We're all big, but it only takes one punch when you're that size. So
Mm. From what you saw from Bakole, how would the rematch be any similar or different if you fight him?
no, I think I would beat him even faster this time. I think he's lazier, he's a little bit on his feet. He's a little bit more flat-footed. He doesn't throw as much. You could tell he's getting a little bit more tired. He got a little tired earlier on, a little bit more fatigued. And Anderson didn't really put a lot of pressure on him to make him like that. So he's a lot he weighs a little bit more than what he weighed when I fought him. So I think it would be an easier fight.
So obviously, you were out there in LA. I saw you got in the ring. You and Martin. You guys cool with each other now?
Yeah, it was pretty cool because we spotted each other before, and I was I was like that was basically the whole reason why I was there. And as soon as I pulled up there, uh a sprinter van came up, with the team, and it was him in there, and they were knocking on the window. It was a tinted window, so I couldn't see through. And they were knocking, knocking, knocking. I was like, "Who is that?" And I was able to see through the front window, and I seen Billy Nelson, and he was pointing at me. And I was like, "Yeah," I pointed at him. I was like, "This, you guys are the reason why I came." And then I looked over on next to him, and it was a Bakole, and I pointed at him. I said, I'm actually rooting for y'all this one." Um, but yeah, so yeah, it ended up being like that, and then he ended up after his workout, he ended up coming to see me outside of the arena. He came right up to me. Out he walked outside of the stage where he was at, and came right up to me, and we just shook hands, and kind of gave a hug and stuff like that, and said, I told him good luck, and in the near future, let's make it happen.
So, being in that environment, obviously Turkey Al Sheikh is making a lot of these fights happen. Do you think, you can get involved in this now? Do you think Bakole's the most likely fight for you next?
Yeah, I think that's a good fight for me to debut over there on Saudi. I think that it's a good fight because he's one of the only people that will fight me. That is credible uh and not scared enough to fight me. And he's a dog because he said my name, so I respected that. I respect that a lot for him to even call my name out because you know, the whooping, you know, I gave him, you don't really come back, you know what I'm saying, like that. You know what I'm saying? It seemed more genuine as he called me out, like he really wanted that back. But then shortly after, if you see the interviews, um, right outside after he called me out, it was looked like he was advised not to say my name much after that, and said that there was bigger, better fights and all that. But you know, he got to come home soon. You know what I'm saying? So you can run, but you can't hide, baby. So you know, it's only a matter of time.
You know, you also saw Jarrell Miller and Andy Ruiz. Seemed like most people had Jarrell Miller winning the fight, even though it was a draw. Uh, would you go along with that? And surely that's a big fight. You and Miller, All American clash.
Yeah, you know, we were just over there. I don't know if you've seen the interview, but I was with Ellie Setback. We already claimed that fight will never happen. That's actually my boy. So you know, we have a lot of history. Um, unless it's some big money, you know, money talks. But you know, I'm willing to get in the ring with anybody right now at this point. But you know, I always wanted to fight Andy Ruiz. I thought that was a good fight, but I thought Jarrell Miller has his number. I think he has his number. I think if they fought 10 times, I think Jarrell Miller would get better and beat him easier. I thought that was a great adjustment from the big guy, being bigger than the big guy and being able to just walk him down. We never really see Andy going backwards. So I thought he did enough to win, but I also thought that a draw was fair. You know what I'm saying? It was two big boys. You know, it wasn't a whole lot of action in there. So, um, you know, I thought it was a fair call.
I guess like right now, there's just so many guys. You know, even though Andy Ruiz lost, he can come back and he can have a fight. You know, like look at Jarrell Miller. He lost to Dubois. He came back. Derek Chisora beat Jojo. Like, there's so many guys, I guess, for you to get in with.
Right, absolutely. And I haven't lost in a long time, and you know, I'm still being avoided. So I think that they want me to lose. Maybe they'll give me some opportunities, but it just ain't gonna happen.
So for you right now, Bakole's the number one guy you want. Is that fair?
As for the big name, I would agree. You know, there's maybe some other fights. Any other fights that they would want me to fight? Ajay Cabiel, he been doing really good. I loved his last couple of performances.
Mm.
Actually, you know, I like him as a fighter, as a person. So that's somebody I would you know, be grateful to share the ring with. Any of those guys in there, you know, I should definitely be in the hat. They know that I'm probably the, you know, top three in any of those guys that are fighting right now, you know. So arguably, so I'm ready.
So like promotionally, like where do you stand? Because like I guess if you were with like an Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren, they could obviously get you into maybe these cards. But you know, at the moment, you know where you're at promotionally.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know, I was signed with Don. I fought my last fight was with Don. And you know, I still have a managerial side that I could still work on getting on that side. But I just think that you know, I don't know if I, you know, said something wrong or did something. You know, I think it had a lot to do with me fight not taking the Hergovich fight. You know, there was a little you know, back and forth, and I just think that the fact that I decided to, you know, do my own thing or, you know, go another way, that Eddie Hearn didn't seem too fond of it. But I don't know what it is, to be honest. But I just don't think they're too fond of me right now. And yeah, it's been kind of a little difficult to get that way. But you know, no complaints, no excuses. I'm gonna just continue to keep pushing.
Well, you know, you are a big name in the division, and you know, there's a lot of guys available. So I'm sure you will get your opportunity, like a lot of these guys have. Just in terms of some fights coming up, obviously, Joshua and Dubois. How do you think that's gonna play out? If you've shared the ring with any of them?
Yeah, yeah. I was in the ring with Anthony Joshua for sparring for the what's the big boy's name? Little lumberjack guy. Um, he knocked him out. He actually used my
Ruiz,
moves to knock him out.
Ruiz,
No, the big tall white guy. He knocked out.
Usyk. No, wait, who are we
No,
talking about?
Anthony Joshua. He bought the big bald mountain man.
Oh, Hellenius. Yeah, yeah.
Hellenius.
Yes.
Hellenius. Yeah, he stopped Hellenius. I was sparring with him, getting him ready for Hellenius fight, and it was good. I had a good experience. He learns well. I mean, he learns fast and he adjusts well. Um, yeah, so I see him. You know, he's always thinking. He's always trying to. I respect him because he really works on his craft and he really tries to work. He works hard. You know, he really tries to get better. And you got to respect somebody like that. So I think Daniel Dubois also is a great fighter. He comes from a fighting family. He got his sisters and his brothers and all that. So I think he's gonna put in good efforts. But I think Anthony Joshua's gonna get this one.
You think it'll stop him?
I think he's gonna knock him out. I think so. I think that Anthony Joshua's been a little right hand intelligent. His 1-2 has been a little bit more on point. A little bit more like he was in the beginning. I think before when he was first starting, it was more like of a fearless thing. He never really been hurt, never been knocked down, so he wasn't scared to throw that backhand. Now it's a little bit more timed and precise. It has a little bit more acuteness to it. So I think that he's gonna knock him out.